but that seems unlikely. But we'll find that out soon enough. But I think it's safe to assume that diamonds are 4-4 in this hand. Already drew some inferences, even here just a trick one. Okay, so you won the 10 of diamonds. Now you need to, you probably want to start getting some trumps drawn. But because you're missing ace queen, you want to finesse, right? So we want to get you back to the dummy. So trick 2, you're going to go ahead and play another diamond to the ace. That's plenty safe, isn't it? So in north in the dummy, we're going to win the ace of diamonds. All right. So you've got all the spots. In fact, as luck would have it, I didn't realize this was in the diagram. As luck would have it, you've got 2 9s of spades. Better to have 2 9s than an 8, right? If only the duplicate card was a higher card, like 2 kings.
Yeah. 2 aces, I mean, why not?
You know what, I've used this example before, and I'm pretty sure, and I don't remember catching that before. I was just testing you to see if you were awake. Okay. All right, so you have all the spot cards, and now you're in the dummy. And so let's say that you run the 10 of spades. And we're going to say that West wins the queen. Not unexpected. You were hoping that maybe since right-hand opponent's diamonds were so bad that maybe the queen of spades was over there and you only had 1 trump loser. Unfortunately not. And everybody's going to follow. So it's going to go 10 of spades, small, small, queen by West. All right, so now we've confirmed that spades are not splitting any worse than 3-1, which reaffirms our original statement that we think lefty does in fact have 4 diamonds, right? And at trick 4, West is going to play the ace of trump. Now you might think, why is West playing the ace of trump? And by the way, everybody will follow. So you are going to discover at trick 4 that the spades were in fact 2-2. Okay, at least trumps didn't split badly. That certainly helps our cause. Why is West playing the ace of spades now? This is actually a good play, but maybe you're wondering why it's a good play.
So there's take away the roughing power from the
Yeah, but the only thing that is going to get roughed in dummy is a diamond, and you can't take that away. So it doesn't really help. What West is doing by cashing the spade now is they probably are trying to avoid getting end played. And the concern might be getting thrown in later with the ace of spades after declare does other things and strips out other suits and finding yourself possibly end played. So that's why they're doing this.
Never thought of that.
They're just guarding against that. All right. And West is going to do something else. West is, after cashing the ace of spades, West is going to cash the king of diamonds. Now dummy has no more diamonds. But why is this a good defensive play? That gives nothing away. West knows that you have the queen of diamonds, right? Because they let a diamond at trick 1 and their partner didn't put up the queen. And you won the 10. So West knows what you know. As far as the diamond suit goes, they know that you started with queen 10 third. Because their partner did not put up the 10 or did not put up the queen. And they're like, oh, okay, I see, partner raised me on 4 small. Well, I might as well get out safely, play my king of diamonds to squash the queen and go ahead and force declare to roughen the dummy. Okay, so you're on the dummy. Trumps have been drawn. Diamonds have been stripped out from both hands. Well, what next? All right, well, let's start with the ace of clubs. And then after that, at trick 7, we're just going to play a small club to the 10 that remains in our hand. It's all going to become very clear why we are playing the hand this way. And at trick 7, West wins the jack. Right? Oh yes, let's continue to construct this hand. We know that West started with ace-queen doubleton, right? Because we've seen all the trumps. We saw East follow to 2 trumps, and we have a 9-card fit, right? So we know that West started with ace-queen doubleton. We know that West started with king-jack, 4th of diamonds. And we have now seen the jack of clubs. And then we're going to take this as far as trick 8 before we have the puzzle solved. This person is now going to play the king of clubs. Hoping it cashes, but it doesn't, right? Because you play small, small, and then now you're roughing the club down here, right? Because you started with only 2. Okay, so let's locate some cards, and let's work, and let's try and complete the distribution here. Where's the queen of clubs?
East.
East has got, East has got to have something for this bid, right? You will discover that it was a pretty crappy raise. But this is in the book. We didn't bid this hand. Woolsey did it. Okay, so over here, we know that East started with 2 little spades. We know that East started with presumably 4 little diamonds, right? Queen of clubs. Now, we're trying to figure out, ideally, we're trying to work out distribution. Theoretically, if East were going to bid at all, even with 4 diamonds, if East were to decide to take a light call,
Wow.
wouldn't East bid a heart with 4 hearts instead of raising diamonds? I mean, if you're gonna make a bid with a bad hand, why not bid a major and see if you have a fit there? So we think, because East didn't bid a heart and they raised diamonds, we think that East only has 3 hearts, and therefore probably queen 4th of clubs. And you think, well, it looks like East distribution is 2, 3, 4, 4. And then we think that West must be the one that has 4 hearts, right? Because the defense has 7 hearts. We're 3, 3 in hearts. So the defense has 7 of them. So we think opener, if we're working on distribution, is 2, 4, 4, 3. And by the way, how did we know that this holding in the club suit was in fact King Jack 3rd? Why did we assign the Queen of Clubs to East? This is where your non-barking dogs are really starting to...
The points, you already showed off with a lot of points in the West.
Actually, I'm thinking of something other than points.
Trick 7. Doesn't trick 7 tell you? What's the one with
Trick 7 when we trick 7 and 8 when West shows up first with the Jack and then with the King confirms this. But let's take it all the way back to the opening lead. If West had King Jack of diamonds and King Queen Jack of clubs, what would the opening lead have been?
King of clubs.
King of clubs. Isn't that significantly more attractive? Even when partner raised diamonds, isn't that a significantly more attractive lead, a sequence of King, Queen, Jack? Especially of an unbid suit? Yeah, why would I hope that partner has the Queen or Ace of diamonds when I can be sure that my King of clubs forces out the ace and potentially sets up 2 more club winners? That's the main reason we know the Queen of clubs is with East. However, what is this coming down to? And by the way, we're booked, right? Because we lost 2 spades and we lost a club. So if we want to make 4 spades, we cannot lose a heart trick. Now, the question is how to play the hearts, right?
What's the original lead?
There's a 3 of diamonds. Baby diamond.
Yeah, the original lead was the 3 of diamonds, was the small diamond.
Right, oh, I have.
Baby diamond.
All right, so this is a 2-way finesse, right? We could choose to play either opponent for the Queen of Hearts. We could play the King of Hearts from dummy and play small toward our Ace Jack or Ace 10, whatever's left, right? And play East for the Queen, which we might be inclined to do thinking, what, did East really raise on 2 points? I don't know, people do weird things at the club. Or do we play West for the Queen of Hearts, in which case we need to run the Jack or 10 out of our hand to trap it while we still have the King in dummy, right? So who has the Queen of Hearts? And why? And for a reason other than, let's select a reason other than we don't think that East made a free raise of diamonds here with only a 2-point hand.
Yeah, East and points.
All right, but there's actually a better reason than that.
Oh.
There you go.
And that's right, because if we look at distribution, right? If we look at distribution, if we have decided that East would bid a heart with 4 of those, and that West has 4 hearts and East has 3, in theory, in the vacuum, who is more likely to have the Queen? The hand with 4 cards in that suit, not 3, right? The pure probabilities would say if one opponent holds, it's the same reason that when we have an 8-card fit and we are missing the Queen, why do we finesse for the Queen? Because a finesse is more likely to work than dropping Queen doubled, right? And the reason we play that way is because the missing Queen is more likely to lie in the hand with 3 cards in that suit than with 2 cards in that suit. So from a pure probability standpoint, if West had started with 4 hearts, West should be the favorite to hold the Queen of Hearts.
No,
But why is that not the case?
No trump.
All right, there we go. We got it.
They would have had more than 15.
I hope that you have been keeping track of all these high card points that have appeared.
Yes.
And oh, by the way, we already decided that West had a balanced hand, right? We've seen the Ace Queen of spades. We have seen the King Jack of clubs. That's 10 points right there, right? So we've got 6 high card points there. We've got 4 high card points there. And going all the way back to trick 1, we were able to infer that there were 4 high card points in the King and Jack of diamonds over there. So if there are in fact 2 more high card points with the Queen of Hearts over here, how many points did West have?
16.
16 balanced. What is 16 balanced? It's not a diamond opening, unless you're just being silly. It's a no trump opening. But West didn't open a no trump. That is your most important inference on this hand. This is not easy. We had to compile to figure this out.
Can you do this on the flam, like when you're flying on the fly?
Uh-huh.
Could you do this on the fly?
Yes.
You can.
Uh-huh.
Oh, then you're.
And at
Yeah.
what point do you?
That's
at
why you're
what
the
point?
teacher.
At what point have you? Okay, so you sort out. I get that you sorted out the Queen isn't there because of the lead, but at what point do you? What trick? What trick did you get that
So-
he doesn't have 16 points? Is it like trick 5?
No, I mean, I don't know, you know, at what trick? With certainty, at trick 8, when the king of clubs appears. Because until the king of clubs appears,
Okay, good.
could East not have king and queen of clubs and West have the queen of hearts, and it wouldn't be a no trump opening?
Yes.
Right? So yeah, so we don't know for sure. As this thing is playing out, and look, my recommendation to you,
So are you counting points as the hand goes, like,
yeah, yes,
instead of counting cards, you're counting points?
yes, that is exactly my recommendation. It's not easy to keep track of distribution. I think it's probably going to be pretty hard for you to lock in that West is probably 2, 4, 4, 3 on this hand. But you don't necessarily have to do that. As long as you are keeping track of the honors coming out of West's hand, and remember, whether you work this out at trick 5 or 6 or 7, or here trick 8 is where it becomes certain, when you see the king of clubs, because you have already seen the ace queen of spades. Easy to count the high card points you've seen from West, and don't even worry about East so much. If you want, you can even focus in on one hand, because West is the one who opened the bidding, and that is the hand that you want to prioritize. So you see the ace queen of spades, you deduce the king jack of diamonds. That gets you to 10 of West's points, and now you figure West has some kind of minimum opening, since he's squeaked out a bid on this hand. And so now we need to figure out, okay, where are the other few points here?